This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit. That includes bootstrappers just starting out, established business owners, and business leaders. My goal is to help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Remastered series. Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com, stories that speak to you. Audible.com is the world's largest collection of audiobooks, as well as some other audio titles, such as college lectures, podcasts, etc. I do love them. They're great for an entrepreneur. The best leaders in the world quite often are big readers. And if you're really busy and you don't have time to read, it's great with Audible because you can listen to the books instead, which is amazing. And today, the book I recommend is a classic, The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is, of course, amazing. You might have seen the movies, but the books are amazing. And there's just some good little nuggets in there about living life and being the hero and doing the right thing. And of course, it's fun because it's classic fiction. Oh, and by the way, if you want to get your free copy of at least the first part of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, any one of the books, you can go to audible.com/B bootstrap. That's audible.com/B bootstrap. And let's get into this. And today we'll be talking about being dangerous. So I'm going to start with a little bit of a quote here. "Perhaps he also thought that you were Saruman," said Gimli, "but you speak of him as if he was a friend. I thought Fangorn was dangerous." "Dangerous?" cried Gandalf. "And so am I. Very dangerous. More dangerous than anything you will ever meet unless you are brought alive before the seat of the Dark Lord. And Aragorn is dangerous, and Legolas is dangerous. You are beset with dangers, Gimli, son of Glóin. For you are dangerous yourself, in your own fashion. Certainly, the forest of Fangorn is perilous, not the least to those who are too ready with their axes, and Fangorn himself, he is perilous too. Yet he is wise and kindly, nonetheless." J.R.R. Tolkien, The Two Towers. This is one of my favorite quotes. It reminds me that being dangerous is not a bad thing in and of itself. This goes back to the previous podcast where I talked about being responsible with great power. Being dangerous is great power, and you need to be responsible with the way you are dangerous. It is very important at times to be dangerous. Let's take, for example, a kitchen knife. A good kitchen knife needs to be razor sharp, and a razor sharp kitchen knife is very dangerous. I mean, obviously, a sharp kitchen knife can cut you very badly, very quickly, and very deeply. I know from personal experience on more than one occasion. However, a good kitchen knife that is sharp and very dangerous is also required to be dangerous in order to do the job of cutting up your food for dinner. You can't really cut up a tomato with a butter knife. It's kind of a smushing the tomato with a butter knife. It doesn't really function that well. So, yeah, a butter knife is far less dangerous. I let my kids make butter their bread with a butter knife, and they're, 2.5 and 6 years old. But they can't touch one of my sharp kitchen knives. No way. So, yeah, their knives are dangerous, but I use them to make dinner. The very function of the knife requires it to be dangerous. If it's not dangerous, it does not function the way it was made. Now, can you choose to use the kitchen knife in a good way and make dinner? Yes, of course. That's what most people do with them. Or you can use it for evil. People have taken kitchen knives and killed other people with kitchen knives. They have used them to mug people, to steal things from people, threatening people with a kitchen knife. So can a kitchen knife be used in a wrong way? Yes. Is it somehow evil because it was dangerous in the first place? No. And yet there seems to be this sense in our society that if you are a dangerous person in some way, shape, or form, you are somehow inherently evil or inherently bad. And I've seen a lot of businessmen be called bad simply because they do have wealth and power. And they are therefore dangerous. So therefore bad. Well, again, I'm pushing back a little bit with this because I believe as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a man in general, you need to be able to be dangerous for the right reasons, at the right time, in the right way, and be good and kindly and wise in the process. Now let's bring this back into the world of business. What are some of the things we need to be dangerous to? Well, we need to be dangerous to our competition, of course. If we're not dangerous to our competition, we will probably just go under if our competition can beat us. Now, you don't want to go out and be aggressive and kill the person or anything like that. I'm talking about doing so good at what you do that you get your competition a run for their money. And sometimes it's a good thing that they come back and they're dangerous to you because that makes both of you better and can help your entire industry. Then sometimes you will have an obstacle pop up in your path and you need to be able to aggressively take it out of your way. Now this obstacle could be something like trying to figure out how to get permits, cut through government red tape, whatever. And it takes a certain amount of aggression to get through this because if you don't, then it's easy to give up in despair and go under. And then there's other things that might pop up that become threats, direct threats to our full business and livelihood. As an example, in my business, in the balloon world, there is a very real threat to the entire balloon decoration and entertainment industry coming from environmental concerns. There is a growing group of people who have made it their mission to try to completely ban all balloons off the face of the planet. They believe that balloons are the biggest dangers to the environment we face today. Now, while it's completely understandable that you want to protect the environment, that's completely fine. And if these claims were really true, then it would be a real concern. However, what they claim does not match up with actual facts. Just quickly, balloons litter comprises about 1% of the problem. If that, latex balloons biodegrade, etc., etc. So it's a completely wild claim, not based in fact, but again, they make it a mission and they are trying to destroy the balloon industry just because they've seen a picture of a bird who choked on a string or something. I've had to fight back against this, be dangerous to the position by providing facts and then politely and kindly showing the facts and explaining the truth to them. And this is in order to keep my business afloat. I've actually lost business because of these types of claims. So I've been active in doing research, writing out explanations, and countering arguments to protect my own industry. Some people just don't even bother. And if they're not fighting against this threat, then they can very, very well lose their entire business. And I've seen some people do that, start losing their entire business because of environmental concerns that are a non-issue, but city councils have banned balloons completely on city property in the U.S. and in Australia and in other places. So it's a serious deal, and as a balloon artist, I have to fight against it, and I have to make sure I'm good at it and I'm dangerous to the arguments. And that's another thing. What you're dangerous to is usually not going to be people. You need to be dangerous to problems and issues and be able to aggressively tackle them, but you don't usually need to be dangerous to a person. Now, however, if you're walking in the woods and a wild animal attacks you and or your family, then yeah, you need to be dangerous enough to protect your family. But yeah, outside of that, I'm not advocating for going out and punching your competition in the face or anything like that. No, don't get me wrong. What I'm talking about is the idea of being strong in order to tackle hard problems because you have the strength to do it, and that in and of itself is dangerous. So, I'm going to wrap it up with this, which is this. Being dangerous is a tool that can be used for good or for bad, but it's a tool we all need. And here's a quote. I'm going to wrap up with a quote from C.S. Lewis. "Safe?" said Mr. Beaver. "Who said anything about safe? Of course he isn't safe, but he's good." C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
If you found value in this content, please leave a comment and give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, and most other podcast platforms. If you would like to support us, you can check out our sponsor links, or if you'd like to support us directly, you can donate or join our membership program at buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Of course, it really helps when you share these podcasts with your friends as well. If you'd like to interact with me and other bootstrappers and leaders, you can join us over at our O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, an Athos Business Solutions podcast. For a companion podcast, the Athos Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair, past episodes and related blogs, please check out our website at www.athos.com, which is at www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.